You won't believe what just unfolded on live television, and trust us, nobody saw this coming. Amara La Negra, the bold, glamorous queen of reality TV, is now at the center of a scandal so explosive, it's tearing friendships apart, shattering trust, and threatening to ruin more than just reputations. In a jaw-dropping, heart-stopping twist, Princess Love stormed the set with receipts, and not just any receipts, screenshots, voicemails, and jaw-dropping DMs that allegedly prove an affair between her husband, Ray J, and none other than her so-called friend, Amara. The moment the cameras rolled, the studio transformed into a battlefield, gasping producers, shocked audience members, tensions you could cut with a knife. And at the center of it all, Amara frozen in disbelief. Or was that guilt? Was this a misunderstanding? A setup? Or is Amara hiding something darker behind that dazzling smile? We've got the entire unfiltered drama, every savage moment, and each teardrop that followed. What you're about to hear will flip the script on everything you thought you knew about loyalty, love, and betrayal in the world of reality TV. Strap in, because this story doesn't just spill tea, it floods the entire table. The studio lights were warm, the audience buzzing with anticipation, and everything seemed like just another episode of lighthearted banter and rehearsed reality, until it wasn't. What began as a segment on friendship and loyalty in the entertainment industry took a sharp, unexpected turn the moment Princess Love walked in with a calm so chilling, it silenced the room. No dramatic music, no warning, just her heels clicking against the stage floor like the countdown to war. Her eyes didn't flinch. They were locked on Amara La Negra, who was mid-laugh, unaware of the storm about to erupt. Amara's smile slowly faded as Princess approached. Even the host looked confused, flipping through cue cards as if trying to understand what scene was about to play out. Then, Princess pulled out her phone, held it up high, and said into the microphone with a slow, deliberate tone, "I think the viewers deserve the truth." "Don't you, Amara?" Gasps filled the studio. Amara blinked, visibly, caught off guard. "Truth about what?" she asked, her voice wavering just slightly. Princess, still stone-faced, turned her phone screen toward the camera. A flurry of screenshots lit up the monitor behind them. Flirty text messages, late-night calls, and a mysterious selfie of Amara and Ray J backstage at an after-party no one even knew existed. The audience lost it. Amara stood up immediately, waving her hands. Hold on, this is taken out of context. You're really bringing this on live TV?" She looked to the producers off camera, but no one stepped in. No one moved. The cameras were rolling, and the drama was too good to cut. Princess didn't flinch. "You texted my husband, 'Wish you were here,' at 2:48 a.m. What context makes that okay, Amara?" Her voice cracked with a blend of pain and rage. "You were supposed to be my friend." Amara shook her head, breathing heavily, her chest rising and falling as if trying to keep herself from exploding. "I never crossed that line with Ray J. I don't even talk to him like that." Princess interrupted, her voice rising. "Then explain the voicemail." "Should I play it? Should we let the fans hear how you giggled and called him your midnight secret?" Amara's face turned pale. For a moment, she said nothing. The studio went quiet. One of the stage assistants accidentally dropped a clipboard backstage, and the sound echoed like thunder. The host finally tried to intervene, his voice trembling. "Ladies, maybe we should take this off camera." "No!" Princess snapped. "I'm tired of fake smiles and fake friendships. I have been nothing but loyal." "And you," she turned back to Amara, her voice cracking again. "You sat across from me at dinners, at events, at my house, and you were texting him the whole time." Amara swallowed hard, eyes glistening. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen," she whispered. "I swear." But the damage was done. The studio was no longer a set, it had become a courtroom. Fans in the comment section watching the live feed began choosing sides. Twitter exploded with hashtags like "Baz betrayal by Amara" and "Wow, Team Princess." Some defended Amara, saying the screenshots could have been edited. Others said they'd always suspected something was going on between her and Ray J. And just when it felt like the moment had peaked, a voice echoed from the hallway beyond the stage. "What is going on here?" Ray J. He stepped into the light, with a look that was equal parts confused and annoyed. "Why am I trending on Twitter for something I didn't even do?" Princess laughed bitterly. "Oh, so you're gonna act like you don't know." Ray J walked up to the center of the stage, looked at the screen behind him, and stared at the screenshots in silence. He rubbed his chin, his eyes narrowing. Then he turned to Amara. "You told me you deleted those." Amara's heart dropped. It was over. You could hear the wind being knocked out of her. Princess covered her mouth in disbelief. The host took a step back as if physically avoiding the tension. Fans in the audience gasped in unison. One woman clutched her chest and whispered, "He just confessed." Amara stepped back. "Ray, what are you doing? Don't make this worse." But Ray J was already too far in. "I told you this would happen. I told you to stop texting me. You said you were lonely, that you just needed someone to talk to." Princess's eyes were full of tears now. "You lied to me. Both of you." Amara looked desperate. "It wasn't like that, I promise. We didn't." But Princess wasn't listening. She turned on her heel and walked off stage. Her mic still on, the audience could hear her sobbing as she exited. Ray J looked at Amara, shook his head, and said under his breath, "You always take things too far." Amara, stunned, stood alone on the stage. No allies, no applause, just silence. Her hands trembled as she sat back down, staring at the ground. The host didn't know what to say. The producers whispered into earpieces, unsure whether to cut the feed or let the train wreck continue. And just when the audience thought the drama couldn't get any more intense, someone else entered the scene, a familiar face. It was Amara's ex-boyfriend, Darnell. No one had seen him in years. And yet, there he was, stepping onto the stage with a sly smile, carrying a manila envelope in his hands. Amara's eyes widened in disbelief. "Darnell, what the hell are you doing here?" He didn't answer her. Instead, he looked directly at the cameras. "You want to talk about betrayal?" he said with a cold grin. "You all haven't even scratched the surface yet." The audience went wild. Amara looked like she'd seen a ghost. And the envelope in Darnell's hands, it was about to open a whole new chapter no one was ready for. Darnell stood center stage, letting the tension simmer as the camera zoomed in on the envelope in his hand. The room had already witnessed betrayal, tears, and the collapse of a friendship. But now, with him holding what looked like hard evidence, the air felt even heavier. Amara sat motionless, her eyes fixed on Darnell like she was staring at a ticking time bomb. "You really thought you could do all this and no one would say anything?" he said, slowly tearing open the flap. "I stayed quiet for years, watched you move on, become a star, live your best life. And I kept my mouth shut. But now I think the world deserves the truth." Amar's voice cracked. "Darnell, don't." "Do this." "Too late," he replied. He pulled out a stack of printed emails, flight itineraries, and what looked like private messages between Amara and another man. Not Ray J, not just any man either, someone married. The camera crew immediately zoomed in, capturing the name Malik Thomas, an R&B singer with a family-friendly image and 2 kids. This wasn't just a side scandal. This was a potential career-ending exposure. "You were playing multiple sides, Amara," Darnell continued, holding up the papers. "Ray J wasn't. Even the worst of it." Amara stood up now, her voice rising. "This is a setup. You edited those. Malik and we were friends." Darnell chuckled bitterly. "Friends don't book hotel suites under fake names. Friends don't fly across the country together and then lie about it." The host tried to regain control. "Okay, this is getting out of hand. We need to verify all of this before accusations are thrown." But the audience had already taken sides. Twitter was blowing up again. Amara Exposed was trending within minutes. Fans were calling for her cancellation, while some still held out hope that everything was fake. A smear campaign, a trap. Amara's hands were shaking. She looked around, desperate for an ally, but even the crew members avoided eye contact. She turned back to Ray J, but he had already stepped off stage, clearly done with the drama. "Why are you doing this to me?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Darnell didn't answer. He simply dropped the papers on the floor and walked away, leaving her alone with the chaos. The host, sensing the danger of letting the moment spiral further, quickly cut to a commercial break. But the cameras backstage kept rolling. That's when things got even messier. Princess Love, still crying in the hallway, was comforted by a friend off screen. "I gave her everything," she kept repeating. I let her into my home. I defended her when everyone said she was messy. And then, from the corner of the hallway came a familiar voice. Safari? Yes, that's Safari. He approached Princess slowly, holding his phone in his hand, shaking his head. Yo, I just saw everything. This is insane. Princess looked up at him. You knew, didn't you? Safari hesitated. Look, I didn't know everything. But yeah, there were rumors. People talk. I didn't want to believe it either. Princess narrowed her eyes. So you let me look stupid? You let me defend her while everyone else knew? I didn't want to get involved, he said. Amara's been playing games for a while, not just with Ray, with other dudes too. Even people on the crew. Princess's jaw dropped. Wait, what do you mean? He looked down, sighed, then showed her something on his phone. The camera didn't reveal the screen, but Princess's reaction said everything. No, you're kidding, Safari nodded solemnly. I wish I was. I kept the video in case it ever came to this. Video? Her voice cracked. Security? Footage, he whispered, from the Miami reunion shoot. Her and Ray together in the trailer. Princess covered her face, trying not to scream. Oh my God! Cut back to the stage. Amara sat alone, a shell of the confident woman who had entered just 30 minutes earlier. The audience was whispering, speculating, pointing fingers. Her phone buzzed nonstop in her lap, notifications flying in like bullets, fans unfollowing, blogs posting, headlines forming. And then, as if the universe hadn't already delivered enough blows, another figure entered from the wings. Amara's mother. She walked slowly, her expression unreadable, but her presence alone sent a ripple through the room. Amara looked up, eyes wide. Mommy, she nodded, approaching the center of the stage. The host stepped forward. Do you want to say something? Yes, she said softly. To my daughter. The room fell silent again. Amara? I raised you better than this, her mother said, voice shaking. You always chase the spotlight, but this is not who you were meant to be. Amara's lip trembled. You don't understand, Mama. Everything's spinning. I didn't mean. Her mother stepped closer. You hurt people. You destroyed trust. And for what? Some texts? Some attention? Amara stood, wiping her tears. You don't know what it's like to be alone, to feel like no one's really there unless you're shining. I was losing everything, and I got desperate. Her mother looked at her, sadness in her eyes. You lost yourself. The words hit harder than any headline ever could. Just then, the producer whispered something into the host's earpiece. He nodded, turned to the cameras, and said, We've just received confirmation that Malik Thomas's team has issued a statement, denying the affair. Amara's head jerked up. However, the host continued, they do confirm that he and Amara exchanged messages that, quote, crossed the line for a married man. A collective gasp echoed once again. The damage control had begun, but it might be too late. Amara whispered, I didn't even sleep with him. I swear. But no one was listening anymore. They were too busy refreshing feeds, reposting clips, dissecting every word and every look. The court of public opinion had made its ruling. Backstage, Princess wiped her tears and turned to Safari. I want her off the show, Safari nodded. You won't have to ask twice. And as the screen faded to black for the end of the segment, one thing became clear. This wasn't the end of the drama. This was just the beginning. The next morning, social media was on fire. Every gossip blog, reaction channel, and fan page had exploded with footage from the night before. Clips of Princess Love confronting Amara, Ray J's accidental confession, Darnell's dramatic envelope drop, and Amara's mother's emotional speech had gone viral. There was no escaping it. Amara's face was everywhere. Memes, reaction gifs, opinion threads. But the most chilling trend of all was the one no one expected. Amara Utfans were calling for her removal from not just the show, but brand deals, appearances, and even music playlists. Influencers who once collaborated with her were now distancing themselves. A former stylist posted a tweet that read, should have known she was shady when she faked tears to get a discount. Amara stayed off the internet that morning. She sat in her condo, curtains drawn, phone on silent, staring blankly at a wall. Her best friend, Tanya, paced the living room nervously. You need to say something, Tanya insisted. Post a video. Go live. Tell your side before it's too late. Amara shook her head slowly. Anything I say now will sound like a lie. They've already decided. Tanya paused, unsure how to respond. Then maybe it's time to tell the real truth. Everything. All of it? Amara looked up. Even the part about who started the messages? Tanya nodded. The silence that followed was heavy. Amara rubbed her temples, sighing. I never meant to destroy Princess. She was the only one who really saw me. But Ray J, he knew exactly what to say. He made me feel wanted. Just for a minute. And then I got addicted to the attention. Meanwhile, across town, Ray J was doing damage control of his own. Seated in a dimly lit studio with his manager and a crisis PR rep, he was visibly frustrated. Why, didn't you just deny everything? His manager asked. You made it worse by admitting the texts. Ray J leaned forward, elbows on his knees. Because they were real. I didn't want to throw Amara under the bus, but now I look like the villain. Again, his phone buzzed. It was Princess. He didn't answer. Instead, he opened his Instagram, posted a black screen with one sentence. Mistakes were made. I own mine. The post got over 3 million likes in under an hour, but that was nothing compared to what was coming next. The show's producers saw an opportunity. They announced a last-minute reunion special, an emergency episode to address the controversy and bring all parties back together for a final on-camera resolution. Fans lost their minds. Tickets sold out instantly. Sponsors rushed to buy ad slots. Back at Amara's place, Tanya read the announcement aloud. They want you to face everyone. Live again. Amara closed her eyes. They want blood. So what are you going to do? Tanya asked. I'm going, Amara whispered. But I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to expose everything. Cut to the reunion taping. The stage was darker than usual, moodier, with soft spotlights casting shadows on the couches. Princess Love sat on the left with Safari beside her. Ray J sat alone on the right. The middle seat was empty. The host welcomed the viewers. We know why you're here. The past 48 hours have been nothing short of shocking. But tonight, you'll hear from Amara La Negra herself. Amara entered slowly. The audience gasped. She looked different, not broken, focused, determined. She took her seat between them, the tension thick as smoke. Amara, the host began, the world is watching. Do you want to respond to everything that's been said? She nodded. Yes, but first I want to thank the fans who didn't jump to conclusions. And for the ones who did, maybe this will help you see what really happened. She reached into her bag and pulled out her own stack of printed messages, but these weren't from her. They were from Ray J. The host blinked. Are these verified? You can check the metadata, Amara replied calmly. These were from 2 months ago. He reached out to me first. Said he and Princess were fighting. Said he needed a friend. Ray J rubbed his face, clearly annoyed. Amara continued. He flirted, he hinted, and yes, I responded. Because I was in a weak place too. But I wasn't chasing a married man. He was pursuing me. Princess turned slowly toward Ray J. Is that true? Ray J exhaled. We were going through stuff. I said some things. I didn't think she'd take it seriously. Amara turned to her. But I did. Because you both looked so perfect on the outside. And here he was, telling me things you never knew. Princess's face fell. Amara's voice cracked now, full of emotion. And I hated myself for liking it. For liking the attention. For falling into something that felt like control. Not love. Not friendship. Just power. The room was dead silent. The host leaned in. So, what about Malik Thomas? Amara looked straight at the camera. Nothing happened. Darnell was bitter. Those messages were real but twisted. Malik and I never met up. There were no hotel rooms, no flights, just words taken out of pain. Safari cleared his throat. And the security footage. Amara looked at him with a sharp glare. That was edited. We never even kissed. If you play the original, the moment cuts off right before anything actually happens. Princess turned to the producers. Do you have the full version? They nodded. The screen lit up. The raw footage played. Amara and Ray J were in the trailer, laughing, sitting close. Then a hug. But no kiss. No touching beyond that. The clip ended. The audience murmured in shock. Amara stood up. You all wanted a villain. And I became one. But this isn't black and white. This isn't just betrayal. This is what happens when everyone wears a mask and calls it reality. The crowd began to clap. A slow, unsure clap, but it grew. Even Princess stood. I'm still hurt, and it's going to take time. But I see you now, the real you, not the one everyone painted. Amara's eyes welled with tears. Thank you. But just as the mood shifted, the screen behind them flickered. A live call was coming in, and on the screen appeared someone no one expected. Malik Thomas himself. He looked serious, calm. And then he said, Amara's telling the truth. But there's something else you don't know. The audience froze as Malik Thomas appeared on the giant screen behind the reunion stage. His face filled the frame, serious, calm, and more direct than anyone had ever seen him before. He wasn't wearing his usual performance-ready smile or flashy clothes. This was a man about to unburden himself. Amara sat down slowly, tension creeping back into her posture. Princess narrowed her eyes. Ray J leaned forward, visibly confused. The host spoke first. Malik, thank you for joining us. You said there's something else we need to know? Malik nodded. Yes, and I don't care what my label says. I've kept this secret too long. The studio held its breath. Amara and I didn't have an affair, he began. But we did have a connection. It started when we were both dealing with personal issues. My marriage, her career stress, the loneliness. We talked a lot. Things got emotional. And it almost turned into something physical. Amara closed her eyes. But we stopped, Malik said quickly. We knew it was wrong. And more than that, we knew it wasn't real. It was just two broken people leaning on each other at the wrong time, the audience murmured. The energy shifted again, away from scandal, towards something more human. The emails and messages that Darnell leaked, Malik continued, those were real, but they were never meant to hurt anyone. And for the record, my wife knows everything now. She forgave me. We're working through it, the host nodded. So you're confirming that Amara didn't lie, but the context was lost? Exactly, Malik said. She didn't manipulate me. I was just as lost as she was. If anyone should take the blame, it's me, Amara whispered. Thank you, under her breath. Malik looked straight into the camera. Amara doesn't deserve this pile-on. Yeah, she made mistakes. But haven't we all? What happened to Grace? The feed ended. Silence hung in the air. Then Princess stood. I think I owe you an apology. Amara's eyes widened. Princess walked to her slowly. You did betray me in some way, but I let the world destroy you without knowing the whole truth. That's on me. Amara choked up. I was so scared. I felt like everything I worked for was slipping away. It's not, Princess said softly. But you have to rebuild it the right way. They hugged. The crowd clapped, some wiping tears. But just as things felt like they were calming down, a voice called from offstage. Yo, can I speak real quick? Everyone turned. It was Darnell. Again, the crowd groaned. Some booed. The security guard took a step forward, but the producer waved him off. It's fine, the host said. Let him talk. Darnell stepped into the light, looking rattled. Not cocky like before. Just nervous. I watched the live feed, he said, rubbing the back of his neck. I didn't know Malik was going to come clean like that. I had no idea he'd take the hit. Amara crossed her arms. So, what are you here for? More lies? He looked at her, guilt swimming in his eyes. No, I came to say I was wrong. You could hear a pin drop. Darnell took a deep breath. I was hurt, okay? You dumped me when your career took off. I felt used, discarded. And when I saw the chance to get back at you, I took it. So you manipulated those messages? The host asked. Some of them, he admitted. Some were real. Some were doctored. I just wanted to destroy her the way I felt destroyed. Amara's face contorted. You could have ruined my life. He nodded. I know, and I'm sorry. The host looked around. Well, this has been one of the most shocking episodes we've ever filmed. We're not done yet, Safari said, suddenly standing. Amara looked up, eyes wide. What? Now? Safari pulled out his phone. Since we're all confessing, I should come clean too. Everyone groaned. The host blinked. This better not be another twist. Nah, it's not that, Safari said, scrolling on his phone. It's just, I knew this would blow up, and I sold the original footage to a blog. Gasps filled the room again. Amara stood. You what? It was just business. Safari shrugged. I didn't think they'd turn it into something that would ruin you. I thought it'd be a teaser, something spicy, not this. You sold out your own castmate for clout? Princess said, disgusted. Safari paused. I'm not proud of it. Amara looked like she wanted to scream, but instead, she took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and whispered, "Thank you." Everyone turned. Because now I know, she continued, exactly who's real and who's fake, and I'd rather lose everything than keep pretending. The audience erupted. Amara turned to the host. Can I say one last thing? Of course, he replied. She looked at the camera. To everyone watching, I let a lot of people down. I lost myself in the game, in the need to be loved, liked, wanted, and I made decisions that hurt people. I own that, but I'm done hiding. From now on, it's just me. No filters, no drama, just truth. Whether you support me or not, at least now you're seeing the real me. The applause grew louder. Princess clapped. Even Ray J nodded quietly. The host smiled. This was not the reunion we planned, but maybe it's the one we needed. Just as the cameras began to fade, Amara turned and whispered to Princess, "There's still one thing I haven't told anyone." Princess raised an eyebrow. What? Amara looked over her shoulder at the audience, then back at her. I'm pregnant. Cut to black, audible gasps, screams, shock, and in the background, silence. The words hung in the air like thunder trapped in a silent storm. I'm pregnant. The audience was frozen. The crew behind the cameras exchanged wide-eyed glances. Princess Love looked like the ground beneath her had just shifted. Ray J, who had already started standing up to leave, slowly sat back down, his face tightening with questions. Even the host was speechless, gripping his cue cards like they were lifelines in a sinking ship. Amara kept her eyes locked on Princess, her voice steady despite the storm she'd just unleashed. I found out a week ago. I didn't tell anyone. Not even Tanya, the crowd murmured. Someone gasped audibly. A fan in the front row clutched their chest like a twist in a soap opera had just leapt into real life. Princess blinked, stunned. You're sure? Amara nodded. I took 3 tests, went to the doctor. I'm about 7 weeks. Ray J leaned forward, arms on his knees, not saying a word, but his eyes asked the question everyone was thinking. Princess beat him to it. Is it Ray's? Is it Ray's? Amara didn't answer right away. She looked down at her hands, then back up. I don't know. Absolute silence. You could hear a phone vibrating under a producer's clipboard backstage. Amara continued, voice cracking for the first time. I don't even know what to do with that truth. I wasn't going to say anything. I wanted to bury it, pretend it wasn't real. But after everything, I couldn't lie anymore. Princess stood up. She looked conflicted, torn between fury and empathy. You came into my life, smiled in my face, and now you might be carrying his child? Amara nodded, tears welling in her eyes. I know how that sounds. I hate it too. But this isn't about revenge. This is real now. Ray J finally spoke. So what now? Amara looked at him. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm not trying to trap you. This is my mess. I'll clean it up. But I had to be honest. The host interrupted, his voice low. Do you want a paternity test? Amara wiped her face and nodded. Yes, as soon as possible. The studio audience remained stunned, half of them still whispering, others simply watching with wide, unblinking eyes. One woman was filming the whole moment on her phone, despite signs clearly saying no recording. Backstage, the producers were scrambling. They hadn't prepared for a twist like this. The reunion had been meant as cleanup, not a complete emotional reset of the entire franchise. Safari, sitting quietly in the wings, muttered, Yo, this ain't love and hip-hop no more. This is a movie. The host tried to shift the mood gently. We're not going to pressure anyone tonight. But Amara, whatever happens next, you're going to need support. Princess sat back down, rubbing her temples. This is too much. Amara reached out, her hand trembling slightly. I'm Not the same girl who came here thinking ratings mattered more than real life. I broke trust. I hurt people. And I don't expect forgiveness. But I do need peace. For me. For this baby. The way she said it. Soft, scared, almost like she couldn't believe she had spoken it into the world, changed the entire room. The host stood and turned to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, we've all just witnessed something that goes beyond reality TV. These are real people with real consequences. And while this show thrives on drama, maybe it's time we also learn to show grace. The crowd clapped, slowly at first, then louder and longer. Princess stood up again. She walked toward Amara. The two women stared at each other. Then, unexpectedly, Princess hugged her. Not tightly, not warmly, but genuinely. "I don't forgive you." "Not yet," Princess whispered. "But I see you now. And that's something." Amara nodded, crying quietly. Ray J walked off stage without another word, but not before pausing and glancing back. He didn't smile, didn't scowl. He just looked broken. As the camera pulled back, the screen faded to black, but before it ended, one final message appeared in white letters. 6 months later, cut to Amara sitting in a soft-lit room, her baby bump visible. Beneath a flowing dress, she smiled at the camera. Calmer now, more grounded. "I don't know what the future holds," she said, "but I'm learning to face it one day at a time. Not as the girl who caused chaos, but as the woman who survived it." A knock at the door interrupted her. She looked toward it. The camera stayed rolling. "Come in," she called. The door opened. And in walked Ray J. Amara blinked. "You came." He smiled faintly. "We got the test results." And just like that, the truth shattered everything we thought we knew. From a simple accusation to a storm of betrayal, lies, loyalty, and love lost in translation. Amara La Negra's world turned upside down in a matter of days. What started as whispers of an affair with Ray J turned into a full-blown emotional roller coaster that no one saw coming. We saw Princess Love confront not just a friend, but the brutal reality of trust broken. We watched Ray J stumble between confession and confusion, caught between two women and his own mistakes. Darnell's twisted revenge nearly took Amara down completely. Safari's clout-chasing move backfired spectacularly. And Malik Thomas, an unexpected voice of redemption, flipped the entire narrative. And just when we thought it was over, that final twist. A pregnancy bombshell that left everyone breathless. Now we're left with questions. Whose child is it? Will Amara and Princess ever truly reconcile? Will Ray J step up or step away? And most importantly, can Amara rebuild what's left of her name, her heart, and her future? This story is far from over, and the next chapter could change everything. But for now, we want to hear from you. Do you believe Amara? Was Princess Love too quick to judge? Or too soft in the end? And if the baby is Ray J's, what happens? Next, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't hold back. We read everything, and if you want more explosive drama, exclusive tea, and behind-the-scenes breakdowns, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because, trust us, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Until then, stay messy, stay loud, and stay watching.